Hello, welcome to PortfolioPilot. In this walkthrough, I'll show you how PortfolioPilot brings your full financial life into one place. Net worth, retirement planning, portfolio improvement, investment research, and an AI assistant that can take action. It's organized into four sections: track, plan, improve, and explore. We'll start in track, your day-to-day dashboard. Net worth, recent performance, market updates, AI insights, and personalized actions in one quick snapshot. Further down, you'll find your portfolio assessment. It summarizes your portfolio's health and the top opportunities for improvement across diversification, expected returns, downside protection, fees, taxes, and efficiency, so you know which changes matter most. Open net worth. Portfolio Pilot supports securities, real estate, private equity, cash, and other assets. Start by clicking Add Account. For investment accounts, connect more than 12,000 supported banks, brokerages, and wallets, or import another way. Upload a statement, copy and paste, email files, or enter holdings manually. Open Details. Here's the same portfolio as a detailed holdings table: market value, weight, expected return, beta, and dividend income. Next, open Asset Groups. Here are groups for retirement and investing, organizing accounts by purpose. Creating one is as simple as naming it and setting its risk preference. If you prefer, PortfolioPilot can also generate analysis and recommendations for each asset group separately. Use the portfolio selector in the top left corner to quickly switch between your net worth portfolio, asset groups, draft portfolios, and individual investment accounts. As your financial picture grows, it becomes the easiest way to navigate everything you've built inside PortfolioPilot. Now open Drafts. Drafts are a safe sandbox. Copy your portfolio, test recommendations and scenarios, and compare changes without touching your real holdings. Finally, open Transactions. This is the investment history behind your tax estimates, recommendations, and performance. Filter by security, trade type, account, or date range. Refresh connected data, upload statements, add transactions, or edit entries when needed. That completes Track. With your full financial picture in place, let's move to Plan, starting with retirement planning. PortfolioPilot runs thousands of Monte Carlo simulations to estimate how likely your retirement plan is to succeed. The breakdown view shows how your wealth evolves across account types over time. And the table view gives a year-by-year projection of your plan, with milestones, life events, taxes, withdrawals, and projected balances, all built from your portfolio, contributions, spending, and market uncertainty. For more advanced planning, open More Settings. Here, virtually every assumption behind the simulation is customizable. Under People, set life expectancy, Social Security timing, retirement ages, and spouse information. Life events models milestones like buying a home, getting married, an inheritance, selling a business, or fully custom events. Money in and out covers income changes, recurring expenses, charitable giving, tuition, healthcare costs, annuities, and other cash flows. Portfolio settings control portfolio score, fees, rebalancing frequency, expected returns, and risk levels before and during retirement. Taxes and withdrawals covers your tax profile, Roth conversion strategies, tax loss harvesting, withdrawal order, required minimum distributions, and other tax assumptions. And model settings holds the core economic assumptions used in every simulation. Next, let's run what-if scenarios. These ready-made scenarios compare common decisions like delaying Social Security, improving your portfolio score, or increasing tax loss harvesting. You can also build your own scenarios manually or generate one with AI. When you apply a scenario, it's overlaid directly against your base case, so you can see the long-term impact before making any real-world decision. Let's take a look at PortfolioPilot's AI assistant. Rather than digging through menus, you can simply ask questions in plain English. The assistant understands your portfolio, your financial plan, and the platform's features, so it can build analyses, answer investment questions, or take actions for you. For this example, I'll ask it to create a retirement scenario where I retire at age 73, keeping all of my current assumptions unchanged. In just a few seconds, the assistant builds that scenario automatically and provides a direct link to open it. Once we open the simulation, we can compare it against the original retirement plan. PortfolioPilot reruns 1,000 Monte Carlo simulations with the updated assumptions, showing how the probability of success changes and how the projected portfolio evolves. The updated chart compares both scenarios side by side with no manual rebuilding required. Click back to base scenario. This lets you quickly switch between different scenarios and your original retirement plan to compare the results. The assistant can also handle follow-up questions. For example, I'll ask for an early retirement scenario at age 60 using about 80% of my current retirement income. Again, it creates the scenario automatically, recalculates the projections, and updates the probability of success, making it easy to explore different financial decisions in seconds using natural language. Since these were only demonstrations, we'll return to the original retirement plan and continue with the rest of the platform. PortfolioPilot also includes estate planning, a checklist personalized to your situation, built from your household profile covering wills, beneficiaries, healthcare directives, life insurance, digital assets, and guardianship, each with educational guidance you can track over time. With your retirement strategy and estate plan in place, let's continue to improve. This is where PortfolioPilot goes way beyond tracking and starts actively helping you build a stronger portfolio, analyzing your holdings and recommending actions based on your portfolio, your preferences, and current market conditions. Now, let's open the portfolio score. The score breaks down into three parts: risk match, risk-adjusted return, and downside protection. Risk-adjusted return shows how much more return you can squeeze out of your portfolio without taking more risk. We separate the positive contributors from the negative ones, so you can see which holdings help efficiency and which drag it down. Here in risk-adjusted return recommendations, you'll find specific suggestions on what to buy or sell to improve your portfolio score, each backed by a full explanation, projected impact, and supporting analysis. Downside protection checks your portfolio across risk areas including asset class, holdings, sector, and regional concentration, plus economic growth, inflation, raw materials, interest rate, credit, and liquidity risk. You can expand each section to see exactly what drives the score. Finally, Risk Match compares your portfolio's current risk with your selected risk preference. Here, they're closely aligned, and risk is also shown by security so you can see which positions drive it. That makes the score more than a number. It explains what's working, what isn't, and where the biggest opportunities are. Go to Analysis and Comparison. Compare your portfolio against virtually any benchmark: the S&P 500, another ETF, or even a custom portfolio. You can also run a historical backtest to see how both portfolios would have performed over time. We'll come back to this page later to compare our draft portfolio against the original and see exactly how the recommendation changes the results. Now let's move over to simulations. This is where you stress test your portfolio before real markets do. Just describe any hypothetical scenario in plain English. For example, what if there's a global recession? PortfolioPilot analyzes it with its economic models and simulates your portfolio's performance over the next 12 months. The report includes the estimated portfolio impact, quarterly projections, a performance chart, and explanations of what drives the results. You'll see the primary economic impacts, secondary effects across asset classes, and why certain investments may do better or worse in that scenario. The COVID-19 crash recreates the sharp sell-off of early 2020. How your portfolio would have performed through one of the fastest bear markets on record, and how quickly it may have recovered. Switch between the drawdown view for the depth of the losses and the cumulative view for the full event. The Global Financial Crisis Simulation models 2008, one of the most severe and prolonged downturns in modern history, again with drawdown and cumulative views for both peak losses and the full recovery. Next, let's open recommendations. This is PortfolioPilot's recommendation engine. Instead of one generic suggestion, recommendations are organized by goal. Optimize your portfolio overall, improve taxes, reduce fees, invest new cash, diversify, replace investments, or remove lower performing positions. Let's begin with top recommendations. As an SEC-registered investment advisor, PortfolioPilot can provide personalized investment recommendations, not just general market commentary. Each recommendation considers current market conditions, your investment preferences, and the rest of your portfolio. Behind the scenes, modern AI combined with hedge fund-inspired portfolio models evaluates the expected benefit and tax impact of every proposed trade. If you'd like to tailor those recommendations further, open Preferences. Here you can fine-tune how PortfolioPilot generates recommendations. Choose your preferred security types and asset classes, set fund expense limits, decide whether to prioritize mainstream or more specialized investments, and even restrict recommendations to specific fund families. You can also use additional context to share personal investing preferences or constraints that aren't captured by existing preferences, helping PortfolioPilot deliver recommendations that better match your goals. Recommendations are ranked by their expected impact on your portfolio score. Open recommendation details to see why it was selected, how it affects your portfolio, and the estimated tax impact. As you scroll down, you'll also find the investment overview, key metrics, forecasts, and supporting research. If you'd like to learn more, open the investment's full research page. Otherwise, add it to a draft portfolio to compare it with your current holdings before making any decisions. Let's put one of these recommendations into action. Instead of modifying your live portfolio, PortfolioPilot first creates a draft portfolio, a copy of your current portfolio where you can safely test changes before applying them. I'll add the highest ranked recommendation. Once it's added, we can compare the original portfolio against the draft side by side. PortfolioPilot updates the key metrics right away: portfolio score, expected returns, risk-adjusted return, downside protection, fund fees, and other important characteristics. Scrolling down, we can compare historical performance through a backtest, followed by a detailed look-through of the portfolio. That covers holdings exposure, sector allocation, country diversification, asset classes, and every other major characteristic. So you know exactly what changed after applying the recommendation. To inspect the draft itself, open it to review the proposed changes and see how they affect your portfolio, all completely separate from your live holdings. Every draft is saved in one place, making it easy to compare different ideas, refine them over time, and decide which changes you actually want to implement. With the draft portfolio ready, the next step is execution. PortfolioPilot then creates an execution list showing exactly which trades would bring your live portfolio in line with the draft, the required buy and sell orders, the cash impact, and the expected improvement to your portfolio score. Once those trades are completed at your brokerage, simply mark them as completed, and PortfolioPilot syncs everything back into your portfolio. Use the portfolio selector in the top left corner to quickly switch between your live portfolio, draft portfolios, asset groups, and individual investment accounts. As you add more portfolios and accounts, it becomes the central place for navigating everything you've built inside PortfolioPilot. Now let's move into tax optimization. PortfolioPilot continuously estimates your current tax situation from your investments and transaction history. At the top, you can see your estimated capital gains taxes along with any available tax loss harvesting opportunities. The system automatically finds investments with unrealized losses that could reduce your future tax bill while keeping similar market exposure. Selecting one of these review replacements opens an interactive workflow. You can choose exactly how much of the position to sell, then search for a replacement investment. PortfolioPilot even suggests similar securities, comparing expected returns, market sensitivity, overall risk, Sharpe ratio, and a similarity score, making it easy to stay invested without changing your portfolio's characteristics. Below that are your realized transactions for the current year with the gains and losses from each sale. If anything looks missing or incomplete, you can jump straight into the transactions section. Here you can upload brokerage statements, import CSV files, add transactions manually, sync connected accounts, edit entries, or correct dates. Keeping this data current gives you more accurate tax calculations and recommendations over time. Finally, let's look at Fee Saver. Many investors don't realize how much they pay in investment fees every year. PortfolioPilot estimates both fund expenses and advisory fees, and you can review every holding individually, including its expense ratio, expected return, risk metrics, Sharpe ratio, beta, dividend yield, and annual fee contribution. Opening a security reveals a much more detailed profile, an overview of the investment, historical performance, projected scenarios, and further analytics that help you understand exactly what you own. Based on these holdings, PortfolioPilot also finds ways to reduce fees without dramatically changing your portfolio. Each recommendation suggests a lower-cost alternative with similar exposure and estimates how much you could save every year. And that's the Improve section. portfolio analysis, stress testing, recommendations, tax optimization, and fee saver in a single workflow, with a clear view of both the risks and the trade-offs. Next, we'll move into Market Overview. This page gives you a high-level view of the global economy and markets, including equities, bonds, commodities, currencies, macro trends, and major market-moving events. You don't need to check this page every day. PortfolioPilot already uses this research behind the scenes to power its forecasts, analysis, and recommendations. But if you'd like to understand what's driving those results, this is where you can explore the data yourself. Next, let's open Portfolio Insights. This automatically analyzes your own portfolio and surfaces what you may not have noticed: concentration risks, sector exposures, diversification trends, and how you're positioned in today's market. Now let's move into AI equity research. Here you can research individual companies with AI analysis. Let's search for AI stocks. Instead of just financial ratios, you get a comprehensive research report: fundamentals, valuation, business quality, expected returns, risks, competitive positioning, and long-term outlook, plus key metrics, historical performance, and analyst-style commentary in plain English. Next is the stock screener. Combine dozens of fundamental valuation, quality, momentum, profitability, and risk filters to quickly find companies that match what you're looking for: high-quality businesses, dividend stocks, value opportunities, or growth. The fund screener works the same way for ETFs and mutual funds. Screen by asset class, sector, geography, expense ratio, performance, diversification, and many other criteria. Next is anomalies. This watches the market for unusual behavior, significant price moves, unusual volatility, valuation dislocations, and other standouts, so you can investigate opportunities or risks you might otherwise miss. Now let's open Macro Explorer. This is your window on the broader economy, where you can explore dozens of economic indicators for any country. Let's open GDP historical data, current readings, long-term trends, and a forward-looking forecast, with AI explanations connecting the indicator to your investments. Finally, let's open Security Explorer, one of the most comprehensive research tools in PortfolioPilot. You can look up virtually any stock, ETFs, fund, or cryptocurrency, and everything comes together in one place: company information, historical performance, forward-looking expectations, valuation, risk statistics, dividends, forecasts, and AI-generated research with interactive charts. No need to hop between different financial websites. And that completes Explore section: market intelligence, screeners, macro analysis, and deep security research, so your decisions rest on data, not headlines. Lastly, let's take a quick look at the account settings. Under Preferences, you can revisit and update these settings at any time as your goals, accounts, or investing preferences evolve. Under Subscription, you can compare every PortfolioPilot plan side by side. Each tier outlines the features included as you move from free to Gold, Platinum, and Pro, with monthly or annual billing and discounted pricing on yearly subscriptions. Check out our other PortfolioPilot walkthrough videos to learn even more. Thanks for watching. Happy investing!